Hello, everybody, and welcome to the HCW show. This week, we're going to be reviewing WWE Friday Night Smackdown, WWE Crown Jewel, WWE Monday Night Raw, and AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite. Stay tuned, roll intro.
HCW Reviews.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. So this week, obviously, again, I am joined by my co-host, Rate Wrestle. How are you doing this week, bud?
Yeah, I'm doing well. It's not like we've recorded this twice already.
Nope.
But yeah, living the dream. We'll carry on from where we are. Already had my depressing moment on the last recording, so you're not getting it again.
I was going to say, yeah, we'll maybe put that out one day. You can see how depressed Rate really was.
I'll mention, obviously, we had Bo on, Bo Bell. That video's done very well, and she was really lovely. And we've got TEW out.
Yes, so finally got the draft out. We wanted to get another video in the bank as well before we release the draft, so we could follow them on. Hopefully this is going to be a weekly series where we can. Obviously that everyone's got to be free for recording and playing the game. But yeah, the aim is weekly. And yeah, hopefully we won't have the teething problems I had getting the draft out where I didn't upload it to YouTube properly. So the premiere didn't premiere at 8. It went out in the end at about 11 p.m. I think.
Close enough.
Yeah, only the 3 hours late. At least it wasn't 3 days like most of DP's reviews.
You were too busy eating a Five Guys to realise it was happening as well. That's
mate, I'm pretty sure I'm still full. But yeah, it's not been a bad week of wrestling. I mean, we'll get to Raw, which is a bit more sketchy than usual. But yeah, if you want to kick us off, Rate, with Friday Night Smackdown.
That's good, and I think I've already shafted this because I put Crown Jewel first on my images. So I'm going to pan past all these Crown Jewel images, so just let them all flow through you.
Utterly professional on
I'm
this
not
show.
Editing this, that's happening. So Smackdown, it's because I watched Crown Jewel first, as I explained before. So Smackdown, so let me skim to that. So this kicked off with Liv Morgan versus Sonya Deville in a no disqualification match. I rated this 3 stars. It was a good match, and I do like that Liv's a psycho now. Like just made a mental psychopath.
Yeah, it's like when we knew she was obviously going to lose to Ronda, but I didn't see the arc coming that we've got.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's great to watch. They're doing really good things with Liv because she's getting so much better all the time. So no, I'm quite happy with this.
100%, and she ended up picking the win, which was more than we all knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And then up next, we had an interview with Emma where she was discussing that she's been gone for 5 years and she's wanted to come back. And then suddenly out of nowhere, Xia Li interrupts her, which was really random. And then she calls her weak. Okay, Xia.
Insult.
Yeah. And then we were following from that. Let me turn my page over. So Valhalla awaits. So the Viking Raiders are still awaiting. So it's going to be like Veer soon. We're just going to be waiting and waiting, and then they're going to turn up. Next up was LA Knight versus our man Ricochet. I rated 2.5 stars. It was nothing special, and LA pretty much cheated to win.
Yeah.
Nothing much to drag about that.
No, I was going to say they're just doing what they need to do with LA Knight to make him a bit more relevant from the MMM stuff. So, I mean, if they're doing the right thing, it's just very boring the way they're doing it.
Yeah, 100%. It's just, it's because the M&M thing, there was troubling. And then up next, we had the Usos, and the Bloodline out back. Sammy was just telling Jay not to go out. Don't go out. So Jay went, I'm going to go out. So that was happening. Next up, we have Way Riot backstage with a weird segment again where he's rambling and then some guy kind of interrupts him and then he just goes into a complete psychopath. Like, he looks like he's going to kill the guy. And the guy just apologises and Bray goes, no, it's fine. So Bray's in a weird state at the moment. Next up, we had the Usos and were in the ring. And then the New Day came out and they were basically saying they got next. Because that's how you get a title shot. And then out of nowhere, the Brutes full on maul the Usos, and then chaos happens, and just everyone's battering everyone. For some reason, I don't have that image in the slideshow, and I've got a picture of Sonya Deville and Liv again, so this is going real well today. Next up, Mysterio. He's going to beat Gunther. That was his promo, and he's annoyed that his son's doing stuff. Natalia versus Shayna. I rated this 2.5. It was quite average. Good finish. Shayna picked up the win, and then she absolutely clarted Natalia in the nose, and actually has broke her nose.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you've seen the pictures online of Natalia, you'll know that the nose has been fully broken. But luckily, it's not a permanent sort of damage thing where they just set a nose back and it's going to be fine. She's not going to need like a nose job or anything like that.
But yeah, broke.
Yeah, definitely broken.
So Shayna's legit. Moving on. Next up, we have the MVP. Omos is tall. Braun didn't like Omos being tall. Braun kills MVP, which we discussed the reason why that kind of happened, because MVP's not allowed. He's not allowed to be in Saudi Arabia due to religion reasons, which I don't really want to bring up. No. Gunther discussed that Ray's got no honour, and he's going to beat Rey Mysterio. Legado del Fantasma had a bit of a segment. They're going to make an example out of Nakamura. That happened. And then the main event, on the quickest SmackDown review in history, this seems like, because I've rattled through this. Gunther versus Mysterio, rated 3.5. Really good match. It was always going to be a good match. Mysterio actually I thought he was going to win twice. Like, I thought they would give him Mysterio the title.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah.
The match, like you said, was solid. Good match. And I don't think Gunther has bad matches at the minute. And when you can toss someone around like you can Mysterio, even better.
Yeah, 100%. And Gunther keeps running on. So, yeah, that was the end of SmackDown. That was my very brief review of SmackDown.
Like you said, it was brief, but it wasn't great. Again, it's like 2 in a row that have just been there. Like, better than old SmackDowns, but I expect more, and it just wasn't great.
Yeah, so it was just an odd event. So it is what it is. So we'll move on to Crown Jewel. We did a Twitch live stream on this, which is still up on the Twitch video at the moment, which you can kind of check out a bit. You can watch me struggle to get into the W network because they wouldn't send me a password reset. Every time I asked for a password reset, I'd wait 5 minutes, and then I'd request another one, and then that link wouldn't. Then they'd send me the original one, but the link wouldn't work. Eventually, I got in, but I missed the whole match. So DP's going to not DP. Frozzy's going to speak about Frozzy's going to speak about Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar.
I mean, there wasn't really much to the match. It lasted 6 minutes, and it is the typical Lashley Lesnar match, as you'd see. It's just two big guys beating the crap out of each other, and that is basically the suplexes, the slams down, the spears through the timekeeper's area, your favorite spot. And yeah, it's a knockdown, drag out brawl. And then they get the funny segment though is eventually Lashley gets the hurt lock in, and Lesnar's fading. The referee's like, "Do you want to give up, Brock?" And then Brock's just like, "Shut up, just shut up, just leave me alone. I am not going to give up." Eventually breaks out, gets the F5, gets 2 count. And then there's not really much left. He pins Lashley, and it's just over. And it's 1-1 in the series.
It was a really awkward pin, wasn't it, as well? I saw on the replay,
it was very strange. He kicked off the buckle because he was in the hurt lock. And then he sort of just like had him down. I'm still convinced Lashley's shoulders aren't down. And the ref counts to 3, and that's the end of the match. Lashley's fuming. Brock's like, "I won." And yeah, it was... I think it could have been done better. Brock winning properly probably would have been fine, because Lashley won properly when he won the first one. So 1-1, bit contentious the way Brock did it, but we're going to get the third match, aren't we? So
yeah,
and that's all it was leading to.
And I just got to see the end replay, so enjoyed that match.
It was a 2.5 stars at most.
Yeah, so as we discussed, we really don't have any notes on the show because we watched it live and it's on Twitch, so, if you want brief, for more of a description, watch a 3-hour fucking Twitch session. So yeah, up next was Oscar and Bliss versus Damage Control. So Bliss and Oscar had recently won the title on Monday Night Raw. So obviously they were going to retain that. Oh wait. So Damage Control ended up picking up the win and taking the titles back.
Yeah. Because of Nikki Cross.
Yeah, the match was fine. I rated 2 3/4, but I don't understand the booking. But yeah, Nikki Cross is with Bayley and Damage Control, and they're now your title holders again.
Well, that's what I said to you on the stream. I was like, Nikki Cross is going to be with them, and you were just like, well, it seems pointless because she laid out Bayley like a week ago.
Yeah. And they mentioned it on Raw, didn't they? And they were just like, it doesn't matter that you beat her. So I think, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Then again, Nikki's a psychopath, isn't she? So it's gone like, you know. Next up, we had Drew versus Carrion. This was better than I expected because their original previous matches have been pretty shocking. I rated 3 stars. It was quite back and forth between them both, and it ended with Drew climbing and just about landing on the floor before Carrion could crawl out the cage. There was a few...
Yeah, it was stupid. Yeah. I'm sorry, but like the match itself was solid, but the stuff with Scarlett where she maced him, and then she could have done it again. There was another segment in the match where he comes to the side, and she was trying to stop him getting out, and I'm like, "You've still got mace. What are you doing?"
I mean, you can only use a tool once.
Yeah. She is a tool for not using it again.
Maybe she used it too much, and there wasn't any mace left. Did you think about that? But yeah, Drew ended up picking up the win. Next up,
and just before you move on, Drew McIntyre was dreadfully ill leading into this. So for him to put on the performance he put on is kudos to Drew. He did very, very well to get through this match and put on a good one at that.
Yeah, no, fair enough. The man was ill.
Yeah.
And very ill. You know, if I'm ill, I'm never turning up.
No, yeah, exactly.
Next up, we had Judgment Day, which was Balor, Mysterio, and Priest versus the original club, Styles, Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows. So we all expected the OC to win, so clearly Judgment Day won. I rated 2 3/4. It was fine. It was a bit clunky. And then Rhea caused another distraction, and for some reason they kept Rhea. I don't know how she can cause the distraction all the time and they lose, but they lost. And then the Judgment Day picked up the win. We'll discuss how they're going to counteract this on Raw. With they've got a Re-Elution coming up, so we'll discuss that. But yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
Next up, on a surprise
match of the night.
Yeah, good grief. It was two. Wait till you hear what Jeff Jarrett said about Braun Strowman and Dynamite. Because you haven't seen it yet.
I've heard what he said.
Oh, great. So it was 2 1/4 stars. I rated this. It was better than I expected, but it was still a very clunky big man match. It was, it was not going to be amazing, but because Braun might watch this, it was 5 stars.
Yeah.
Braun picked up the win, and Omos lost.
It went 7 minutes, which was the most surprising thing about the match.
Yeah, I thought it was just going to be a train wreck, but yeah, it was fine. It just wasn't great. Next up, we had a Bray Wyatt promo where he was just doing his usual shtick in the ring, discussing now he's missed it and he's going to be himself and stuff like that. And then Uncle Howdy appeared on the thing, but they actually showed Bray Wyatt watching it, and it was just like Uncle Howdy's basically calling him a liar and saying he needs to be who he should be. I'm still interested in where this is going because it's mental.
Same. The thing with Bray Wyatt always was for me is that the character work and everything that he does around it is solid. His matches are not great. Yeah,
it's just because I think he made his character too kooky. Whereas if he wrestled normal in the ring, he might be better.
Yeah. I was just never. I love Bray Wyatt and I love the characters and everything he comes up with. I just don't think he's very good in the ring. But maybe it is just him wrestling as his character, and he's better than I'm giving him credit for. But I could not name you one Bray Wyatt match that I've enjoyed.
Anyway, Bray Wyatt's been brayed. Next up was the Brawling Brutes versus the Usos for the tag team titles. I rated this 3 1/4 stars. It was always going to be a good match. Some incredible moves. Both teams went all out for it. Our Butch was there. And they won, I believe, if the Usos, I can't remember if it was this match, but they won with a Avalanche 1D, which was very good, to pick up the win. And they didn't bury the Brutes, which was good, so they put off a good offense, and then the Usos still reign supreme, and they're going to be fighting the New Day next, it'll be as this is released, the day. The New Day can't be winning that, surely.
No.
Oh, God,
it wouldn't make sense.
I'll go with the OC and Damage Control winning on this show.
Yeah.
So, it wouldn't make sense. It's going to happen. Next up, Bianca Belair versus Bayley. I rated this 2 3/4. I wasn't big into this match.
No, same.
There's so much stupidity that happened. Like, we had this major discussion in the FPL, but Bianca selling is awful. Like, she sells...
Yeah.
I think they were getting confused what we're on about, but she sells for a second, and then she just carries on like nothing's happened.
Yeah, so she sells well. She does sell well immediately after the move, but you've got to be telling a story that these moves are hurting you and they're hindering you later in the match.
Yeah.
They can't just be hurting you for 2 seconds and then you're fine.
Yeah, it's like Bayley was a wreck in this match. Like, she was always holding on to something. She was in pain. Like, the spot that gets me is Bianca was in the chair, Bayley in the steps. Bayley destroys her. And then she suddenly just hulks out, lifts this thing after she's been battered, and then throws it. It's like, and then she suddenly realises, actually, I probably should set now. It's like, it's.
Well, there was the one on the staging as well where Bayley's got her against the stage and she slammed her into the thing and then like scoop slammed her onto the floor, and then Bianca's turned round, pushed Bayley into the thing, and then she sort of sold her back for like a minute, and then she's just dancing around like nothing's happened.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Yeah.
Bayley lost stupidly as well. It was the good old.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Batista with the fucking sellotape. When the sellotaped his legs to the thing. Yeah, Bayley got caught in a ladder, as in between the ladder, and it was pushed underneath the bottom rope, and then she couldn't get out of it. She could get out of it, but she couldn't get out of it. And she was halfway out by 7, and then she just decided, I'm too far out of this now. Oh, no. And then she lost. But so I see the match annoyed me.
Like, now they're going to give Bayley the title, and when they do, it's going to be stupid because it should have happened this time.
Yeah.
Or the time before.
No, don't get me wrong. I like Bianca's wrestling more. It's just selling. It just does me head in.
Yeah, no, she's a great wrestler, like fantastic athlete and everything like that. Don't understand the character sometimes. I think it's a little bit bland. Yeah. Selling's awful.
Exactly. And we'll round off good old Crown Jewels with Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul. I rated this 3.5. It was a very good match, but it shouldn't have gone as long as it did.
No, it did go too long, but if you take away the fact that it's Logan Paul who is wrestling, and you don't think about the name and what he's done or how many matches he's had or anything like that, this match was fantastic.
Yeah, no, it was very good. Like the spot, I'm guessing you've seen the video now of him jumping off the thing where he actually shot it from his own camera.
Yeah, unreal.
And like Roman Reigns obviously picked up the win. His acting at the end was great. Like where he was just like thinking, I don't want to see any of you YouTubers ever again, never again. And did you see the after show thing where they showed like Roman, like Paul Heyman was going, "You're my tribal chief, you've done this, is all for you," and stuff like that. Then Roman just kind of runs up and he goes, it's so good. And KSI and Mr. Beast got a shout out as well, which was pretty funny.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the match has been highly rated by all the people who rate wrestling.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that tells you everything you need to know. Like I said, take away the fact that it's Logan Paul, because I know people will shit on Logan Paul. Purely from a wrestling standpoint, the guy's great. He's done it now 3 times. It's not a fluke.
I've bigged him up
He's
as well.
Very athletic.
Yeah, like I was fully in favour at WrestleMania, and I'm always getting shot down at the WrestleMania one. But now I'm right. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like he's taken to it like a duck to water. He's very athletic. If he works on his promos a little bit more, because he does sound a little bit bland, then he could be a very, very good asset for WWE, and he brings on a whole different audience.
And I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't mind if, as long as he doesn't throw a punch, because Jake Paul's fake punches were horrible. Like
it's the same ones he throws in a boxing ring, mate.
But,
same punches.
I wouldn't mind like a random tag team match with them both at some point, because I'd like to see what Jake Paul could do in the ring as well, because he's athletic as fuck as well, isn't he? So
yeah, I mean they're both the same. I mean, I strongly dislike Jake Paul.
Oh yeah, the world does.
If I'm like, at the end of the day, it's world wrestling entertainment, and if it's going to be entertaining, I'm happy to see it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Crown Jewel was fine. There was a few meh matches. I'd say 2 really good matches, and then just everything in the middle.
Yeah.
But we'll get back on track with a good old Raw, because I actually have wrote notes for this. So, you know, I said notes, check the Twitch. So Bloodline in the ring, they were just discussing the old, they're going to be champs forever, longest reigning champs. I love the Usos promo style. I just love like he says something and you go yeah, and it's just like you know 2 times, and it's just so hype, man. Woods comes down with Xavier. Woods had the best promo of his career in this ring when he was discussing like they had to earn it. You know, they didn't just because we're related and we're all Samoan. You know, we had to go through our own roots, and like it was going properly. We had to blood, sweat, and tears. Had to do this for my YouTube channel. Like, it was so good. And then here comes Riddle. Riddle comes in and he wants everyone to hit his bong. Everyone started hitting his bong. Jimmy hit his bong, and then Jay slapped his bong out of the way. And then, you know, obviously, because this leads to a match, because I don't know how this is life. So we had New Day and good old Riddle versus the Bloodline. I rated 3 stars. It was a good opener to the show. No, I rated 3.5 stars. For some reason I wrote 3 there, but I rated 3.5 stars according to this. I'm going to go with my website. Very good opener. Everyone looked great. Riddle was getting beaten down, but selling really well. The Usos and like the dissension between the teams, and it was just overall good. Usos ended up picking up the win. The Bloodline still stayed strong because Sikoa actually pinned Riddle, which was just like straight up pinned him. There wasn't any kind of shenanigans with it. So,
no, good, because it puts Solo over. It doesn't hurt Riddle at all, and it keeps the pins off the New Day and the Usos.
Yeah, and like the man's Solo's getting pushed to the moon. You know, I can see a good old US title, you know, running his future or something like that.
Maybe.
Next up, we had JBL before we had a match with Baron Corbin. JBL is from Texas and he likes Texas. That's what I know from JBL.
I don't think he gets that point across enough.
Yeah, Texas.
Yeah.
So we had a match with Corbin and Cedric Alexander's back.
Brandon.
Squash match. It was a better squash match than expected. I rated 2 stars. It got there, but it was still a squash match. Corbin's picking up wins now. It's fine. It's still, I'm pretty much I like JBL, so I'm trying to give it, but it's pretty much meh at the moment.
They're doing with Corbin what they're doing with LA Knight on Smackdown, and they're building it back up, but it's just quite boring.
Yeah, because they've nerfed him, haven't they? So it's kind of like they have to see what they do. Next up, we had Rollins in the middle of the ring with his open challenge. Here comes the Judgment Day, and obviously I completely forgot about this, but Balor's the reason. Rollins is the reason Balor got injured and lost his title because he did the buckle bomb thing, didn't he?
It's SummerSlam.
And then he said, we're going to owe you what's mine, and I'm going to win the title. And then here comes the OC, and they're both staring at each other. And then Rollins just kind of stares out and limps out the ring, just like, walks out the ring like, I ain't doing this. And then an all-out brawl kind of happened. No, actually, what happens first is they're discussing, and they go, we've got to solve this Rhea problem. And then we've got a Rhea-lution. And out of nowhere, you see a hooded figure whack a kendo stick into Rhea Ripley, revealing Mia Yim's back. And I'm all for this. I love Mia Yim. I literally rated her DVD just recently, so it's funny that she's appeared.
The fans didn't love it, but...
The fans didn't love anything on the show. Crickets this came out too. But yeah, it was great. She obliterated, and the OC actually looked strong. I don't know. They're saying she's in the OC, which is a bit weird, because I can't picture her in the OC, but we'll see what it is. Next up, Otis versus Elias. That was a match. I rated 2.25 stars. Elias lost because he got distracted. Elias is already in the bin.
Yeah.
Judging Vay backstage, basically saying that the OC have solved nothing. They're still their problem. And then Dominic, his exact words were, you know, how could they do this to mommy? And it weirded me out.
Yeah, the whole thing's weird. I remember I was watching Crown Jewel and you saying on the stream that I'd stood on the apron from behind. Dominic looked like Rhea.
Yeah. It's
which is very weird.
Odd thing. Yeah, I just blinked and I was like, what was Rhea? Oh yeah, it's Dominic. Next up, we had Bianca and friends in the ring, and they were discussing just the general, like, Bayley's she's done with Bayley, blah, blah, blah. And Bayley was like, You're Not Done Me. They come down and like she still won 2 out of the 3 matches they've had recently. And then the most brilliant segment, like part I've ever had, they just let Oscar and Io shout at each other in Japanese, and I loved it.
Yeah,
it was
Have
so
you seen
good.
the translation?
I haven't yet. I saw the video, but I haven't clicked on it yet.
It's very, very like if it was done in English, you'd be like, "What the hell is this?" But purely because it was done in Japanese, it's great. Well, yeah, go look at the translation. I can't remember exactly what it is, but the translation's unreal.
But it's so good, like just the Japanese versions, and like it just ended with like you going, "Bitch!"
Yeah, I'm sure she just calls her an idiot a hell of a
lot. And then there's Cross, and then there's the complete anarchy. So next matchup we had Theory versus Shelton Benjamin, because that's a thing. So Shelton's back as well. I rate this 2.25 stars, just below average match. The Miz is suing Johnny Gargano for decimation, but then Johnny
defamation, not decimation.
He's suing him for decimation. What are you on about defamation? No such thing. Decimation.
Decimation. No.
Decimation. I'm not on about being character. I'm about him destroying people's lives here. He's decimated his life.
So you can't sue him for decimation.
So yeah, Gargano comes out. He's going to blow the whistle. He's got a whistle, and then there's a weird interview that Gargano's hired a PI, and Miz has basically admitted that he lied about everything. Gargano versus Miz, better than expected. I rated 3.25 stars. Like Miz actually showed he was decent in the ring. Gargano was good. The finish was good with the kind of distractions, with Miz picking up the win, and then Loomis comes out of nowhere and absolutely clobbers the Miz with a chair. And then he sits there on the chair for a bit, and then he sees the security, and I've never seen a man run so quick. Like, I've never seen... He leaped over that thing like he was an actual high jumper, how he jumped over the barricade. But yeah, it's continuing.
It's annoying.
Damage Control was backstage, and they basically said you need to destroy Dana. I don't know why you need to destroy Dana. I don't know why this was a thing.
They did it though.
Yeah, Dana versus Nikki, 1 star. Absolutely poor match, I'm going to be honest. Like, showed no qualities for anyone.
Unnecessary is what this was.
The only good thing about it was Nikki had the bout as she was walking back. She was just staring at the sky weirdly. I don't know what was happening with her. She tried to drop the bout in the bin and missed the bin. But the thing is there. She was looking at the sky when she was doing it, so I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. OC, the Re-Elution, and Mia Yim's going to take them boozing. So I'm all for Mia Yim already. She's taking people boozing. Next up, Rollins Open Challenge Part 2. So Rollins wants the Open Challenge. Here comes Ali, but he's on the Titantron. I don't want always on the Titantron. He's about to challenge Rollins. Then Lashley obliterates Ali. And then he's speaking, you stole the title, I'm going to beat you, blah, blah, blah. Ali tries to jump him again, so he obliterates him again. And then Lashley comes down and absolutely smashes Seth Rollins. Like, hurt locks through tables and absolutely batters him. And then here comes Mr. Money in the Bank to cash in on the world... Oh, wait, it's the US champion. So he's coming to cash in the US champion. And Theory loses.
I was going to say, he doesn't even win, which makes it even worse. This is the dumbest thing I have ever seen.
I rated 2 stars because the match was fine-ish. But yeah, so they're having a good match. Rollins is kicking out of everything. Then Theory gets jumped by Lashley again. The ref doesn't know and he kind of KOs him. And then Theory just gets in the ring at 8 after a DQ, after a count out, and then stomped. And that was it. Yeah. And then Seth celebrates.
What an absolute waste of money in the bank. Fair enough, right? The regime's changed and it's gone from Vince to Triple H. Don't just make it now that you can cash in on anything. Because it's always, you can cash in for a world title opportunity whenever you want. You can't just change the game that's been the game for God knows how long.
You've mentioned
just because it suits you.
It's the game.
It's just stupid. It doesn't make any sense. I'll stay very quiet in servers where people have been talking about this because I wanted to open up on this and just say how fucking dumb this is.
But it's all about the game and how you play it.
No, they could have done something completely different. If it's going to be for a world title opportunity and you don't want him to cash in on Roman, cash in on NXT. Fine. It's a world title. It's in the company. Do it. Don't just make him look like a complete dork. Like, they've booked him into the ground, and now they've done this with him, and they've made it even worse. How does this guy recover from this? How does he recover? You don't.
He doesn't know he's what they call in the bin.
Yeah, he's going to end up on Elevation in about 6 months. That's what's going to happen with Austin Theory.
No. He's going to end up on AEW in 6 months.
Yeah, Elevation.
As they I just realised Elevation. Yeah, I thought you were on about NXT. What was it called?
No.
NXT Level Up. That's what they do.
Yeah, Level Up. Yeah. No. He's going to end up on Elevation with the other no marks.
Fuck's sake. Yeah, that was the end of Raw. It was pretty shocking. I'm going to be honest. It wasn't a great Raw.
Yeah, no. I'm glad that was the end of Raw.
Like, there was some decent. There was like a couple decent matches, but like overall,
it was the opener. The opener was class.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the show was ass. But yeah, we'll digress and we'll move on to Dynamite.
Yeah, so we'll go from there. So good old Dynamite. So for some reason my thing, it's because I've been typing stuff on my keyboard and I've got the hotkeys on. That's fair enough. So Dynamite, we started off with FTR and the Acclaimed versus the Guns and Swerve in Our Glory. So I'm going to have to discuss all this because Froz hasn't watched it yet. But yeah, I rate this 2 3/4. It was just a bit of a meh match. Like, it was fine, but it just felt meh as a matchup. Nothing really happened. It was a bit clunky. There was a good start of it that Billy came out during the Acclaim's rap and just tried to attack the Guns, but they kind of stopped him before he could actually attack them. But yeah, it was just overall a bit meh, I'll be honest.
Fair. I mean, it's weird that you'd say an FTR match is meh. So yeah, I'll judge it myself, but yeah, I respect your opinion. So yeah. I'm gonna assume it was meh.
Yeah, no, it just wasn't great. Next up, we had MJF. He had a bit of it was like a video that was recorded on a podcast. I don't know whose podcast it was, but he was just discussing that he's not going to travel due to his injuries because he doesn't want to lose out against Jon Moxley. It's going to be a new era. Everyone's waiting for it. And he respects Moxley, but he's going to win. This was followed by another segment with Stokely Hathaway in a weird video vignette where he was just saying, MJF, you betrayed me and I betrayed you, blah blah blah, and I'll see you in hell.
I can't stand him, Stokely. He used to just get off my telly.
So the images on the screen are absolutely fecked, by the way. I don't know what happened to the ordering on them, but I can't be asked to sort it now. So I'm just gonna pan to the end. Page versus Kingston. I rated 2.5 stars. What happened was Kingston Page was tapping out to Kingston with the stretch, but Sanjay had to interrupt. No, it's Sanjay just interrupt. Someone interrupted it. And then they couldn't cause the issue, so he kind of didn't tap out in the end. And then he did the Ego's Edge off the top rope to pick up the win. As I said, it was fine. Andrade, and so it was Roosh backstage with Jose and with the Dark Order. Jose said that if Roosh beats Bandido in the World Championship qualifier on Friday and then eventually wins it, he's going to give 10 the first title shot because he respects him. I don't know what's happening.
We know who's not winning.
Yeah. I could spoiler this right now, but you need to, not to you, but to the world, because I know the result. They pre-recorded it. So Wardlow was up next. Open challenge match. So Daivari was out back. R.A. Daivari was in the ring. He was saying that he's going to give Wardlow his butler, and Wardlow comes down, beats up his butler, beats up Daivari, obviously wins the match. I rated it 0.5 star. It was fine. And then out of nowhere, Samoa Joe turns on Wardlow, chokes him out.
Yeah, well, just don't. I saw this had happened. Don't get it.
The commentators said they were hinting at there's been dissension between them. I've not seen any dissension. I don't know if I've just missed it, but it just seems like they've been fine.
We don't watch Rampage, do we? So unless something's happened on Rampage, over the few weeks, I don't know. But I never got the impression that a turn on from Samoa Joe was coming. So
yeah, but it did. Next up, we had Cargill, a backstage interview. So it's going to be her versus Nyla Rose at Full Gear. She's going to beat that ass.
Cool.
Baker and Saraya in the ring. This was actually a good promo. Saraya absolutely buried Britt Baker. I'm telling you, buried her. So she announced that she's a 100%, which was pretty cool, obviously, because we were all she kind of hinted that she wasn't as well, and I was like, oh no. But she's 100%. Then she was basically saying she deserves to be here. Like, she's been wrestling for like 17 years. Britt Baker's only been wrestling for 3 years. She needs to kind of try and stop out the spotlight, trying to be over like that. Britt Baker come up with a great line, which I completely forgot the exact wording of. It was you need to stop calling people out. And you need to make an appointment, which obviously because she's a dentist. I did like that. Then Paige actually ran through her, basically just saying, you know, she's been around. She didn't this. This is her house. You know. She's going to destroy her. And then she's stepping outside the ring because she's kind of mic dropped. And then she comes back in and absolutely does the Paige Turner, which she's going to change the name, obviously. And just drops Britt Baker, and that's it. Absolutely buried her.
I saw that you'd replied to her on Twitter because she was asking for new finisher names.
Night and day. It's because I was just thinking, I was thinking of stuff that had night in it because she said night, Yeah. Someone said Knight Rider, and I don't want that as a finisher. She's hit her with a Knight Rider. Oh, God, no. For so much, no. So, yeah, up next, The Factory with Dutt and Lethal. So, Lethal, Dutt gave Cole Carter the money for helping him win the match the previous week. Then The Factory said, you know, if you need anything else in the future, we'll help you. Then the Best Friends come. Before the Factory leave, Lee Johnson's with the Factory for some reason again, and the Best Friends come and Orange Cassidy's there, and then Lee Johnson's about to spiel that he wants a title shop, and Orange Cassidy goes, yeah, fair enough, and walks off. And then the Best Friends of Trent comes over, and then he challenges Lethal to a match, even though that match had already been announced, so I was really confused. And then up next, Lethal versus Beretta. Lethal won. Rated 2.5 stars. It was just a distraction. Lethal picked up the win. It was fine. It was lackluster Dynamite. Every show this week was quite lackluster, and this was the same. Dutt and that lot were on the top of the stage, and then they introduced Jeff Jarrett. So Jeff Jarrett is actually officially with them. And then Jeff Jarrett goes into a general rant. He was the guy that gave Lethal the first contract. He was the guy that took Dutt everywhere. And then he discussed about Satnam Singh, only 7'5". I thought he was 7'4", so he's growing. And he discussed that. And then the first thing he says, you know, we're booking the banana nose circus over there. So that's clearly on about Triple H. And then he says that tall guy with the red skinny jeans, you know, a true monster of red skinny jeans. So he's on about Braun. So, you know, he's burying people, and I love it. Love Jeff Jarrett.
It's just they need to stop doing it though. It's so boring. WWE do not do this. They don't fire shots all the time, every week, and it's boring. Just be your own company. Forget about WWE. Just concentrate on what you're doing and not on what they're doing.
Yeah, no, that is fair enough, but, you know, it's Jeff Jarrett, so I'll rebut your thing and say, shut up, slapnuts. I love Jeff Jarrett. Whatever he does is gold. Next up, Jungle Boy had an interview. I didn't care. I can't even remember what happened. He's going to face with Jericho, Christian and stuff like that. I don't even remember what actually happened.
Something happens on Rampage, doesn't it?
Yeah. Moxley, MGF, you're not the devil. You were better than expected, though. He discussed about when he met Regal and Regal baited the shit out of him, but then he beat the shit out of Regal. And, you know, he's basically just livening up his match for All Out, for Full Gear. It was fine. It was a good promo. It was just Moxley-ish promo. So there was just his to beat people. God damn it. Next up, Starks is lying on the floor because he's been beaten up because, you know, poor Starks. And here's Lance Archer.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, Lance Archer's this mauled Ricky Starks. What? I
didn't even know Lance Archer was still with AEW.
Well, I knew he was, but I just forgot he existed at the same time. But why is he mauled thingy? I don't understand.
Yeah, there's nothing that's led to this. He's just done it.
Yeah, it's just happened, and now, he's dead. That's pretty much what happened. But yeah, moving on. Hater versus Sky Blue was a very good match for what I expected. I rated it 2 3/4. Very back and forth. Sky Blue had so much offense where I thought she was actually going to pick up the win. I was like going, oh my god, it's happening. But eventually, Hater did win. But very good match. Very good match.
Well, the same happened. She faced Tony Storm.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago. I think it was before the last pay-per-view when, and me and RGX both said the same thing, that fair enough, you want to put someone over, but you're making them look strong against either your world champion or a title contender.
Yeah.
That's not how it should go. Like, all for putting people over, but put them against people who aren't going for titles or are title holders.
Yeah, no, that does
make them look good somewhere else. That's the only thing that annoys me, and I've not seen the match. But if they've made her look good against someone who's challenging for the title, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I do know where you're coming from, but as a match, it was good. As a story, I can understand where you're going.
Yeah.
That also happened after. That happened before the Archer thing. I kind of skipped past that. Right. So I'm doing very well at this. It's been a terrible time. I've had a terrible day. Danielson versus Guevara. This was a lot better than I expected. Sammy actually wasn't as annoying as he is. So what happened was it was 2 out of 3 falls match. Guevara lost the first fall because he just decked Danielson with a chair. Busted him wide open. And then he kind of beaten him down, and then he picked up the second fall with a GTS. Because obviously weakened Danielson. Good back and forth then. Like there was some of the moves like the falling off the top rope, landing the thing. Danielson ended up picking the bin with a version of the LaBelle lock where Sammy was reaching the ropes, but then he grabbed the other rope and tied it behind his back as well, so he had nowhere to go. And Sammy tapped out. I rated 3 3/4. It was very, very good. Very good ending to Dynamite, which was quite poor, but the main event was great. Best match of the week.
I was going to say, I think you've rated that match of the week then.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I'll be honest, this week he's been ass. Even Crown Jewels was fine, but it wasn't great.
Yeah. I've not seen Dynamite obviously, but the wrestling I have seen wasn't great. We've not seen Dynamite yet. My match of the week so far is obviously Reigns against Logan Paul. Yeah. When I watch Dynamite, it'll probably change. Yeah, because we're never really that far apart. We tend to rate the same wrestling. We're never miles away on things like that. But no, not a great week wrestling wise, but it just makes you hyped for the weeks that are going to be good.
And before we segue out of the ending, I'm going to mention now, which you won't know until you watch the next TW video. I've got Bryan Danielson on my roster.
Yeah,
I didn't remember.
That was a fun discovery earlier on.
Yeah, I just went to...
Who's got Bryan Danielson? Yeah. You have. No, I haven't.
I had to go watch the video and I went, I've picked him 6th. I don't know where he is.
Not only was he picked 6th, he should have been in your tournament, and he ain't.
Yeah, and you've checked as well. He's definitely on my roster as well, so I just didn't pay attention he was there. Yeah. My apologies, Danielson.
Yeah. If you ever watch this, Brian, then Ray apologises for his colossal mistake in not putting you in his world title tournament.
But I've already sorted it. Well, when you watch the video, I've sorted it.
But yeah, so I mean that is the end of this week's wrestling review and the end of the show. So as always, follow us on Twitter, go to our YouTube channel, like, subscribe, comment, tell us what you like, what you don't like, if you agree with anything we've said, because I have shit all over what they've done with Austin Theory. So if you agree with me, let me know. If you don't, let us know as well.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I could have said that. I thought, no, I won't do that. I won't go full heel yet. But no, as always, we enjoy doing this. The feedback we get from you guys is great. We've got the indie reviews that we're doing as well. Obviously, DP's just released the interview with Bo Bells, which is going over really well, as Ray alluded to earlier on. Absolutely lovely person. Fantastic interview. She came across really, really well. Go and check out her Twitter as well. And yeah, just keep liking, subscribing, and following. We appreciate everything you guys do. But yeah, from me, it is goodbye. And from Rate, it is...
Ni hao.
See you on the next one.
Goodbye. Ni hao!